Hey there, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a foundation review. 3 different foundations that I have all give, I don't know, I would say like, I was gonna kind of lump them all together and be like, you know, these foundations are very kind of naturally radiant. And I would say most of them pretty much, yeah, they have more of like a natural, fresh radiance to them. They're not very matte, not super dewy. And so one is from a brand I have never heard of before. I've heard of, but I've never tried. One I've been testing out for a little bit now. 2 are a little bit newer. And then one I've been eyeing from the side for a very long time. And I finally picked it up. It is the Dior Airflash. I get a lot of questions about this. What are my thoughts on it? Have I tried it? You know, what is it like for your skin and whatnot? Okay, so I got the shade 100. And I was really, I was really intrigued. I've been wanting to try it for a very long time. Every time I walk into Sephora, I'm like, I really need to get the Airflash. Then I walk out with something else, and then I'll be online. I'm like, I need to buy the Airflash. So I finally just went ahead, purchased it, and it's very challenging. So I do really love Dior foundation just in general. But this one, first of all, the application, like the spray, kudos to you if you can spray it on your face and not have your walls and your hair and like your outfit covered in makeup, because I could not. And I was like trying like as far away. I was about to call Stan, like, stand over there, like spray my face. Spray the foundation and see if it like lands on my face and not everywhere else. So I really struggled with that. Then I was kind of like spraying it onto my beauty blender, like in my sink, and then it would get all over my sink and sometimes on my countertop. So the way that I found best to apply it for me is to spray it onto a paper towel on the side. I know it kind of probably wastes some product, but that's the only way I could figure it out. So I'm looking to you guys to give me some suggestions and maybe I'll try them. And so I spray it onto the paper towel, then take my beauty blender and dab it in and then start applying it. All right, let's get on to how it looks. Initially, if I hadn't used the beauty blender, I can imagine it probably looks so cakey, because even with the beauty blender, it has a very makeup-y finish. Like, it looks really flawless, looks very airbrushed, but it gives quite a good amount of coverage. Like, I didn't find it to be like sheer little nothing. Like, if you're going to use this, just be prepared for some coverage, really to work it into the skin, because if not, it can look very cakey and you will look like stage makeup. At least that's what I found. So I would just use a little bit and then really, really blend it out with my beauty blender. It does, like I said, it gives that flawless finish. I like it. However, I love Dior foundation. So I was upset that it wasn't in the love category, but sometimes I need to work with foundations for even longer periods of time. So I'm gonna keep working with this. It's not enough of a disappointment for me to send back, because I really did like it and the color seemed to work pretty well. It just was not that much of a flawless finish as I was used to with the other ones. Like I said, it gives this airbrush finish, but like airbrush, like, which is nice from a distance, and you get up close, you're like, oh, she's wearing a lot of makeup. And you guys all know who I'm talking about. Or people that you see that you're like, oh, from a distance it's beautiful, and then up front, you're up close, you're like, wow, that is a whole mound of makeup on your face. But so that's how I felt this looked when it was on. But I'm not going to send it back, and I'm going to keep using it, and I like it. I don't love it though. This I really loved, the Sisley Phyto Teint Eclat. So I've reviewed the Sicily foundation, which is that anti-aging foundation from Sicily that has the skincare benefits in it. This one has been in the line for quite some time, and it is an oil-free, long-lasting foundation, which instantly drew me in. But as it's oil-free and long-lasting, I was like, oh, it's probably going to be very matte and very, just very flat. Not the case. I found it to be more natural, almost slightly radiant, depending on the moisturizer I was using underneath, and lasts a very long time and really gave me fantastic coverage. I really loved the shade though, however. Porcelain, 0 porcelain. It was really great for like my winter skin. Like I sometimes have trouble finding something too fair or fair enough for me in the winter. This really hit the mark with fairness. And I don't know, I've just been reaching for it regularly. I'm curious as to how it will wear in the summer, because it is long wearing and oil free. So I'm wondering, but it does have like a slightly naturally somewhat radiant. Some days it looks more naturally matte. Some days it looks more naturally radiant. So, however, I think it's not like matte like a Lancome Teinty doll. That is very matte for me. This is not that flat of a matte. Oh my gosh, I'm like rhyming all over the place. And I'm like listening to myself and I'm like, okay, stop using at in your words. However, like I said, I'm really loving it in the winter right now. I'm curious as to how it will wear in the summer. But if you're looking for an oil-free foundation, maybe because you have oily skin, this is definitely one to try. But if you want it to be exceptionally matte, maybe not. I definitely felt that it was more natural. It's not like like I said, not like a Lancome Teinty doll, which is like matte. All right, this is from the brand that I have heard of. I've seen on Sass's website here and there, but I have yet to try anything. So it is the Decorte, D-E-C-O-R-T-E. I'll make sure to link it below. Their Soft Cream Foundation. And I had seen some people talking about this on Instagram and that they really loved this foundation, how beautiful it was in the skin. So I was like, all right, well, I am interested. I got the shade 300 Warm Pearl. It's a good match. I was kind of unsure if it was going to be too dark or too light. It actually seems to be a pretty good match. Okay, so when I first put it on, I wasn't sure what to expect. I didn't know how dewy it was going to be, or I knew it wasn't going to be very flat. It says soft cream, and I thought to myself, it's going to be a little fresh. And I put it on, and it was stunning. It kind of just like disappeared right into my skin, but my skin afterwards didn't look like it had makeup on. It gave amazing coverage, like medium coverage. And it gave my skin that like just had a facial freshness without any type of dewiness or any type of greasiness. It's just the most beautiful, naturally radiant glow. And my only, I do wish that maybe there's a reason that they put it kind of in a pot here. It can get a little messy, I'm not gonna lie. So make sure it stays upright. You don't like, let it fall all over the place because it could get real messy in the cap, which is the only kind of disappointing thing. But that, to me, I'm kind of like, yeah, whatever. The finish was so beautiful. I did get a tad bit shiny at around hour 6. So I found that just kind of throwing on a pressed powder down my T-zone worked to help, mattify me again. I'm curious as to, since it is winter, it is perfect because as soon as I go out in the cold weather, I love having that kind of like fresh radiance to my skin, especially because if it's very cold out and I don't obviously get extra oily. So I'm curious to see how this will transition into the warmer weather, but it is too beautiful of a formula for me to even not think about testing in the warmer weather. It is absolutely stunning. In fact, I put it on the first morning I put it on, I like instantly Snapchatted it because I was like, first impressions are stunning. And so I'm always kind of like hesitant when I try something for the first time and it like gives fantastic impression. I'm always like, yeah, let's see what you got on day 2 and day 3 and day 4. But I've been trying it for a few weeks and it has come through every single time. So if I had to rank them in order of like, least, the one I liked the least to the one I liked the most, I would say the Dior I liked the least, though I will still use it and I still did like it. But out of these 3, this is kind of be the first one because it was, like I said, it was too makeup-y and could be too cakey if I didn't shear it out enough with the Beauty Blender and if my skin wasn't properly like hydrated. Then the Sicily, the Phyto Teint Eclat, like I said, it kind of goes between naturally matte and naturally radiant, not as super fresh and glowy as this. So it definitely will, stay more towards the naturally matte side. But like I said, some days it would be a little bit more radiant based on the foundation or moisturizer I would use underneath. But very long wearing, gives really great coverage. And I thought the color was a great match. And then this was my favorite, the Decorte. I think that's how you say it. Soft Cream Foundation in 300 Warm Pearl. Beautiful, stunning. I have a feeling that if you have drier skin, this will probably be your best friend. If you have oily skin, I don't know. I'm hesitant to be like, yeah, try it. I feel like you could probably go with this one from Sicily. But I feel like if you have a combination skin like I do, like some days you're oily, some days you're a little dry, it's just a, random every day. I think you could really enjoy this. I think you would really enjoy this. But I think if you have dry skin, I think you would be like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. And okay, so I will link everything down below. I'd love to know if you tried any of these foundations, or leave me a comment of what foundation you're currently using and loving. I'm always looking for new recommendations, and I will talk to everyone soon. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.